What happened to Hitler's body? Unraveling history's darkest secret. The question of what truly happened to Adolf Hitler's body has haunted historians and conspiracy theorists alike for decades. Was the Führer truly consumed by flames in the ruins of Berlin, or did he somehow escape the inferno, leaving behind a carefully constructed deception? As the Red Army tightened its grip on Berlin in late April 1945, the once invincible Nazi regime crumbled around Adolf Hitler. Trapped within the confines of his Führerbunker, the dictator faced the inevitable collapse of his 1,000-year Reich. With defeat looming, Hitler made a fateful decision: suicide. He would not allow himself to be captured alive by the Soviets, choosing instead to orchestrate his own demise within the bunker's cold, concrete walls. The date was April 30th, 1945. The world held its breath, unaware that the architect of unimaginable destruction was about to take his own life. Eva Braun, Hitler's longtime companion and newly minted wife, chose to share his fate. Their intertwined destinies would end together in the bunker's grim embrace. The method of their suicides was chillingly precise. Eva Braun ingested a cyanide capsule, a swift and silent exit. Hitler, however, chose a more definitive end, a gunshot to the head. Even in death, Hitler sought to control his image. He issued explicit orders. His body, along with Eva Braun's, was to be burned beyond recognition. These orders were carried out with grim efficiency by his loyal aides. The bodies were hastily carried up the bunker stairs and into the shattered garden above. The scene was chaotic. Amidst the rubble and the sounds of approaching Soviet artillery, Hitler and Braun's corpses were doused in gasoline. The fuel-soaked bodies were then set ablaze. The flames consumed the remains, a desperate attempt to erase any trace of the dictator and his consort. The purpose was clear: to prevent their bodies from falling into the hands of the advancing Soviet forces. Hitler feared the propaganda value the Soviets would gain from displaying his corpse. After the fall of Berlin, the Soviets meticulously combed through the ruins of the Führerbunker. They sought definitive proof of Hitler's death, and the charred remains offered a grim starting point. Extensive forensic investigations were conducted on the recovered remains. Soviet scientists and medical experts worked tirelessly to piece together the puzzle of Hitler's final moments. Crucially, dental examinations played a pivotal role in confirming the identities of Hitler and Braun. Their dental records, meticulously kept, provided irrefutable evidence. Despite the conclusive findings, the Soviets maintained a veil of secrecy around the location of the remains. This fueled decades of speculation and conspiracy theories. The reason for this secrecy was rooted in fear. The Soviets worried that a known burial site would become a rallying point for neo-Nazis and Hitler sympathizers. The remains of Hitler and Braun underwent a series of clandestine burials and reburials. The Soviets moved the remains multiple times to prevent any potential veneration. In 1970, the KGB exhumed the remains one last time. The decision was made to eliminate any possibility of a future shrine or pilgrimage site. The exhumed remains were subjected to a final, irreversible act: cremation. The bones and tissue were reduced to ashes in a secret operation. The ashes were then scattered in the Elbe River, a final act of dispersal designed to erase Hitler's physical presence from the earth. The purpose was absolute: to ensure that no physical trace of Adolf Hitler remained, denying future generations any opportunity to glorify his memory. Despite the official narrative and the supporting evidence, conspiracy theories about Hitler's escape continue to persist. These theories paint a picture of a cunning escape, a life lived in secret, far from the ruins of Berlin. Some claim that Hitler escaped the bunker in the final days of the war, fleeing to South America or another remote location to live out his days in anonymity. These theories often rely on perceived inconsistencies in witness testimonies and the initial Soviet secrecy surrounding the discovery and handling of the remains. However, these theories lack definitive proof. While intriguing, they fail to provide credible evidence to support the claim that Hitler survived the war. Ultimately, these claims remain largely unsubstantiated. They are built on speculation and conjecture, lacking the rigorous scrutiny of historical and forensic evidence. The official narrative, supported by eyewitness accounts, forensic analysis, and historical documentation, remains the most plausible explanation for the fate of Hitler's body. The evidence strongly suggests that Adolf Hitler died in the Führer bunker on April 30th, 1945, and that his body was subsequently burned and disposed of by his own followers and later the Soviet forces. The weight of evidence points to the destruction of Hitler's body in Berlin. The meticulous efforts to erase his physical presence underscore the desire to prevent any future glorification of his regime. In the end, only the legacy of his destructive reign remains, a chilling reminder of the horrors of extremism and the importance of vigilance against the forces of hatred. If you found this exploration of history's darkest secrets intriguing, be sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into historical mysteries. Share this video with fellow history enthusiasts and conspiracy theory aficionados. Let's continue to unravel the past together. What other historical enigmas pique your interest? Leave your suggestions in the comments below.